The number of on-farm accidents recorded in New Zealand is a real cause for concern. In 2020, there were nearly 2,500 incidents where an injured person required more than a week off work. 24,000 ACC claims were lodged, and there were 20 fatalities. Something clearly has to change.
I was formerly the National Arable Chair for Federated Farmers, and in July 2020 I was elected as the National Vice President. As part of that role, I've got a portfolio for health and safety in the workplace, and for me, that means about looking after our people and making sure they come home at night and hopefully fighting fit. We have an opportunity here. We can continue down the track we have, which is health and safety is considered a compliance burden, or we can flip that round and think about it as a culture of care. How do we keep our people safe and that they come home at the end of the day and they've had a good day? So we need to know what are the health impacts of our agrochemical use? What are the impacts of dust and inhalation of things? Through to more sudden acute incidences like what happens with our side-by-sides, our quad bikes, our tractor rolls, etc. So understanding that information is critical. And then I've also taken on another role with Safer Farms, and it's a different organisation, but still very much that's a group that wants to drive change without harm on the farm as well. And for me, it seemed like those two roles were quite similar. And through that, we're trying to identify, okay, so what's happening? How can we intervene? How can we turn that round and reduce the numbers? And pulling all of the stakeholders together to embrace that approach. There's a spectrum. All of the sectors use vehicles, and we do have high vehicle accident numbers, including fatalities, through to yes, sprains and strains, which do take a lot of time off the farm, those injuries and things. And then that's a really important point, is that no matter emotionally and mentally, it's really tough to be injured, but it's also costing businesses a lot when you're not being able to be productive. Fatigue and inexperience are significant issues for our industry at the moment, and particularly with COVID and the border restrictions. Colleagues of mine have been advocating strongly for many months now about getting the right skilled labour across the border to help with particularly things like carving, lambing, harvesting, picking fruit, industries such as shearing, veterinarians. We don't have enough people, and so what's happening is it's putting an extra pressure on those trying to do it. We're seeing farmers and growers doing too many hours, and that's where you see your accidents happen. Your judgment is not what it should be, your mind's somewhere else, and you do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do, or you're just not attentive. And that's particularly when we see it play out with vehicle accidents. But in a mental health space, we know we're suffering. We know we've got a lot of people with depression, and we need to really work to turn that around. Agrochemicals are well used on the farm, and they play an important role, but they need to be used with great caution. They have instructions on the labels. Vital that you follow that, application rates, weather conditions, and the appropriate PPE. And that's critical because whilst they'll minimise pest and disease damage, so we've got enough food to produce certainly a growing population, we need to make sure that our people are safe. Sun damage is highly concerning on farm. We've got some recent statistics out of Australia by the Rural Health Alliance, and that showed that farmers are 60% more likely to die of melanoma or a malignant skin cancer than non-farmers. In New Zealand, we have a more severe sun than Australia, so they could even look worse than that. So we're really encouraging our farmers to look after their skin in a prevention way. So, slap on the sunscreen, the hat, use your shade, and make sure that the sunscreen's put everywhere around the farm. The second component of it is get your skin checked. My husband and I, we go annually and get a skin check. He's just had another melanoma removed from his back. It just looked like a mole that was a funny shape, nothing really particularly obvious. So yeah, go and get it checked by an expert and eliminate that risk as much as you can. Working by yourself or remotely in farming environments is really problematic. You know, we're not blessed with great connectivity. The beauty of this product, which is a Zoleo, is it sort of meshes the whole emergency locator beacon in with a two-way connectivity. So you can download the app on your phone and then pair that with it, and then you can actually use it with texting and emailing others. In extreme case, you set off the SOS, you just hold it for 3 seconds and you will see from the lights flashing that they have received that. However, if it's just I'm stuck out the back of the farm, I've got a water leak, yes I am going to be late for dinner again, then you can just use your phone, it'll pick up a satellite and it'll let the significant other at home know that you're actually okay, you're not lying under something in a bad way, and you'll be in there. You can also send your GPS coordinates to someone, and so that they can see, perhaps if you're tramping or way out the back of the farm bringing sheep in, that you can see that you are moving and where you're going. You can also access weather reports, so pretty critical when things are changing rapidly.